You know what? In the last talk, I was in a bad fucking mood and I didn't get really much of a chance to show any Christmas spirit. But now, a 180 happened, the tables have turned, I can finally be in the Christmas fucking spirit. Why? Because I can briefly talk about what my background is, my border, what the whole inspiration of a new romantic quick Christmas is that I am bringing for you all to watch while I'm covering these fucking movies for you all. Especially this one right here, which I will get to. I could feature so many artists that are in the world of New Wave. I've already featured some right here displayed in front of you. Roxy Music, The Human League, Kraftwerk, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, Depeche Mode, The Psychedelic Furs, ABC, and XTC. I could have added a bunch more if I wanted to, but I didn't want to clog the entire atmosphere because I had to put the lights up and I had to make sure that the landscape's all beautifully colored and vivid to showcase a nice little new romantic Christmas spirit in my own way. But one of the bands I'm going to briefly talk about with you all is Relevant, because the lead singer of Oingo Boingo did this movie. He ended up becoming a well-known, successful film composer. He's done many great wonders. When you know that Danny Elfman sound, whether if it was from Oingo Boingo or from his scores, you know his sound and his creativity that he brings. The man is literally, if not in my world musically, the king of Halloween. And sure enough, this movie right here was, if not the Danny Elfman film, where he brought all of his dreams and wishes to reality. But this was not necessarily directed. The film was composed. All the musical scores that you heard throughout the film, especially with the most well-known track, This Is Halloween, that opened the film, is one of Danny Elfman's not only best tracks that he's written, but one of the best scores in any animated film. And this just makes me so fucking happy. Now, Henry Selick. I have talked about him before. The guy has done a few films. Him and Tim Burton share same similarities when it comes to the inspiration, their art design, their presentation, and that gothic artistic beauty that they both bring to their movies. And for this being his debut film, and the fact that this was not only written by Tim Burton, but it was also produced. So for these two to come together and make this little directorial debut for Henry Selick, beautiful. Now, I'm going to admit to you all, when I saw this movie when I was a young kid, I was not a fan. And I've said it for so many years that I didn't care for. Even when I was getting up there, I still couldn't find any appearance or any admiration for this film when I was young. Why? I don't fucking know. I loved the music because I knew who Danny Elfman was, and I've always appreciated his work. But I didn't know what the fuck was going through my mind as a kid. But now, talking to you all in front, this is one of those movies to where I ended up growing a different approach on. This is a movie to where I appreciate and admire behind the artistic gothic beauty, and this to me is the Dead Man's Party record that Oingo Boingo did in 1985. This to me is that album turned into a film, but with Christmas as its main target. Now, Oingo Boingo, throughout the years, Danny Elfman had much successful hits with the group. I'll name a couple songs. Obviously, the self-titled track of the album, plus few of the albums were self-titled, like Good for Your Soul and Only a Lad. He also did tracks like Little Girls, No One Lives Forever, Just Another Day, you name it. Not My Slave, which is my favorite song that he has written on the Boingo record. Insects. The guy's a fucking genius when it comes to music. Both if it was from the new wave genre or if it's composer. The guy's a fucking genius. He's personally, for me, my favorite film composer. And it's not just being biased towards the fact that I'm a big fan of Oingo Boingo, but it's also the fact that Danny Elfman, I love the sound. I love the gothic realm. I love how he's able to incorporate the Halloween style, but twist it around and turn it into different things. And for this, the fact that he was able to take his big his big obsession for a holiday that he loves. Like I said, that I claim to be him to be the king of musically. He put it into this fucking film right here. And he also sung the character for Jack Skellington, and it was great. Chris Sarandon, he played the main protagonist for Jack Skellington. But what makes this movie so special? I'll tell you all. Besides me fucking jerking the goddamn musical score off. So Jack Skellington, he is a mastermind pumpkin king of Halloween. After he got bored with the whole entire holiday, the fact that he has to wait another 365 days out of the year to bring the spooks and scares and plan the entire year and figure out what kind of mathematical or scientific calculations he can do to make this holiday special, he wants to do something new and fresh. He was out all night. He discovered the fucking woods of various different holidays that is out there that everyone loves. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, and then there's Christmas itself. He ended up picking the door that leads to the Christmas town. He discovers all the presents, the lights, the cheers, the humans, and all the specialties of what makes Christmas its own special holiday, of what makes it just so delightful. But instead of cheers, he wants to bring spooks. He goes back home. He starts calculating, planning on how he wants to turn gifts into ghouls. But once he goes to Christmas Town and realizes exactly what his plan is, to where he's got to kidnap Santa Claus and become Santa himself. Instead of presents, it's fucking just spooks and tricks. No treats. All hell breaks loose. And Jack has to fix the errors he's made. Dialogue and musical blended together. I love the musical scores for this film, where the musical interpretations was telling the story itself. Instead of having actual characters talk to each other like they were and having that nice little dark comedy tossed in there, the musical scores added a lot more emotion, a lot more interest, a lot more amazing value for me to appreciate this film. I love musicals. I enjoy a good musical film. Especially when the musical scores are being the storytelling factor instead of having regular proper dialogue where the characters are interacting with each other. I love how each song is different from one another. I love how the vocal ranges are different tones, where it's very melancholy, or if it's cheerful or spiritual, or a little frightening factor tossed in there. I love the variety. I love the variety of how all the songs in this fucking movie were literally telling the story and making you believe and buy into what was going on. Not just making you enjoy the entire song that you're listening to, but also appreciate the progression and story and understanding who Jack Skellington is. He's not just a Halloween guy. He's also someone who cares about his holiday, wants to make something special. In a way, you're kind of seeing the bad guy capturing the good guy. You're getting more of a villain perspective for the film than instead of the good guy perspective. But once Jack Skellington realized that he's fucked up and realized that Santa's a good guy, it really shows exactly that Jack Skellington isn't all broken bones, no pun intended. He also has a love of his life who's a dead girl, and she's drop dead gorgeous. See what I did there? She's drop dead gorgeous. Anyways, the story itself, straightforward to the fucking points. The musical scores, phenomenal. Danny Elfman, I said it before, is a goddamn genius. The fucking visuals, the art, the animation. I love Gothic. I love anything that involves the Gothic realm. I enjoy that stuff. And Tim Burton's one of my favorite directors. The animation for this, the presentation, the artistic beauty, cinematography, all of it was just phenomenal. Fan-fucking-tastic stuff. If not, one of my favorite scenes is when he goes up, that little picture right there where he goes up to that little hill there and he sings in front of the moon. from the beginning and at the end where he's with his drop dead gorgeous looking honey that he loves. I love that presentation. I love that shot. The film's got really good fucking just camera work in this. For being stop motion and having the fucking visuals that it had, that's something that was definitely very futuristic and ahead of its time. Fan-fucking-tastic, great stuff. The Nightmare Before Christmas is a movie that I gave a 4.5 out of 5 to. This is one of those films to where you want a mixture of both spiritual Christmas and a gothic persona blended together. You got it. You want fun songs, mixture with a little bit of sadness, fear, and hope. This film has it. You want beauty, you got it. You want Christmas and Halloween blended together for anyone who's a fan of both holidays simultaneously, and that's a big fucking word. This is that movie. I've grown to appreciate this film so much. Musically, artistically, visually, storytelling. It's earned its reputation of being a fucking Christmas classic and a classic in the animation world. So folks, that's going to have to do it for my talk on The Nightmare Before Christmas. I go from being fucking mad to being fucking cheerful, talking about something that fits my world, to now back to being a fucking goddamn Grinch. Stay tuned for that.